And neither did this guy. Him and his wife got out of the car and walked up to the school and, walked in and said, hey, we're here to get our kids. And they said, no, you got to get in line with everybody else. And he said, no, I'm not waiting in a line of cars. I walked here. Why should I sit in my car for an hour when I walked here? There's no car. I walked. Walked from home. I don't know. They were saying they walked from home. I don't think they did, but it's kind of irrelevant. The fact of the matter is, if you walk into school to get your kids, the school should give you freaking kids. This isn't communist China where the school can tell you anything. Anything. It blows my mind that a high school or a junior high or whatever thinks they can tell you anything in regards to your kids. Anything whatsoever. If you come in and say, give me my kid, they should produce your kid right then and there. I don't care what the kid's doing. If you're there to get your kid, they should hand over your child. Period. At what point in the school's like, you need to wait in line with everybody else. So you need to go get my kid before I put a hurt on you. No, you don't keep... I cannot... you can see I'm getting angry. I cannot imagine a world, especially a free country, where a school can deny giving you your children. They're your children. As an American citizen, it should enrage you that the school thinks they can tell you what you can and cannot do with your kids. Now, I know this is something a lot of you parents deal with, but I cannot understand for a second why you would. They're your kids. They're your kids. Would you tolerate anybody telling you what to do in your regular life? I sure the hell wouldn't. I do not put up with unreasonable people, not for 1 second, and no reasonable, intelligent American should either. You shouldn't put up with irrational and unreasonable people. The only thing you should be dealing with is self-interest. Now, occasionally you've got government interference that you can't really do much about, and that's the way life is until we get laws changed. But when you walk into a school and the school refuses to give you your kids, I would be on the horn with the cops, and that's what this guy did. He called the sheriff, and the sheriff was, busy with a situation with a kid who had been injured or something. And you can hear this there's a video of it. It was on The Blaze today. And so he calls the sheriff because there's a deputy there that's threatening to take him to jail because he wants to pick up his kids on foot. And so he calls the sheriff, and the sheriff says he'll call him back later. And the deputy and this teacher are like, you're just being childish. And he's like, give me my kids, and I will leave. And the guy stays calmer than I am and stays calm the whole time. He's like, I'm not being confrontational. Just want my kids. I'm here. Give me my kids. And they're like, no, the rules. He's like, just give me my kids. I'm here. Give me my kids. And apparently the family had problems with the school before. They went to court about and solved. The school had made his special needs daughter wait for an hour and a half and would not let her call her father. So you've got these situations where schools are telling the children and the parents what to do. Now, growing up, my parents, got into it with schools more than once, and for good reason. And ever since then, I had a healthy criticism of school authority. I'll never forget one instance. The school sent out a newsletter when I was, I think I was in 5th grade at the time. They sent out a letter saying that Halloween trick-or-treating was going to happen between, set hours. They were saying that, kids were going to trick-or-treat between, 5 and 7, and then we were all going to go up to the school for the carnival. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to trick or treat for however long it takes me to hit every house in town. I'm not at school. I am out in the neighborhood doing my thing after school hours, and you think for a second that you can tell me I got to come back for a carnival that's optional? No, I don't think so. I'm going to hit every house, and that's that. But what's worse is that people actually listened. People actually were like, oh, well, it's 7, it's time to go. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're grown people, and you've got an elementary and junior high telling you what to do with your kids on Halloween. And I don't understand. I can't understand that for the life of me. At what point do you let teachers dictate your life? Especially as a grown-up. Didn't you get enough of it in the first 12 years of your life? Or excuse me, the first 12 years of school? I don't understand it. I can't understand it at all. And so in this situation in Tennessee, the dad, after being very calm and very amicable, saying he's going to take his kids, the deputy finally gets fed up arguing with him and arrests him for being disorderly, for calmly requesting his kids. He's arrested for disorderly conduct. I don't think for a second it'll hold up in court because the man was just trying to get his kids. No reasonable person can find that to be disruptive or disorderly. But it's insane that people actually think that that's okay in a free country, that sort of action against a parent trying to pick up his special needs daughter and other child from a school. The more I hear and see about public schools, the more it becomes clear that I don't think it would ever be an option. I mean, the point that schools are getting to these days is nuts. They're telling you can't come eat lunch with your kid. Your parents can't come to the school at all during school hours. You can't pick up your kid before the school's out, and even then you got to wait in line for an hour to do so. I don't think so. This is America. You'll give me my kid or I'll burn the mother down. Metaphorically speaking, I'm talking about lawsuits, of course. I would never actually burn down a building. But I think you understand my point. I think all of you do. I think it's pretty clear in these situations that our freedom is not something that's guaranteed. If you've even got elementary schools telling you when and where you can take your kids, I think it's pretty clear we're not living in a very free society. And it's something that we have to deal with as Americans. We have got to protect our own freedom. It's like Thomas Jefferson said, that the tree of liberty must be refreshed with the blood of patriots from time to time. I mean, Jefferson was of the mind that we needed to have a revolution every few years just to keep government in line. I understand why. If you look at all the nonsense we put up with these statists, with the Democrats, with the establishment conservatives, with schools thinking they can tell you when you can and cannot take your kids, I understand why they think we needed revolution. These people want to try and control every aspect of your life. If you're gay, you can't get married. If you want to smoke weed, you're going to go to jail. You can't even look at somebody wrong in some places without being, accused of racism and the cops coming and talking to you. Or bigotry or sexism or all this other nonsense. And it's all over the place. I've got another example here for you that happened near me. Texas drivers are being pulled over and asked to take a breathalyzer, or the police will pay you $10, big bucks, for a cheek swab of your DNA, a saliva sample. Or they'll give you $50 if you give them a blood sample. Now, I don't know about you, but if a police officer pulls me over and says, hey, could you give me a breathalyzer, or for $10 a cheek swab, or for $50 your blood, I would roll that window up so fast and be gone. There is not a law in this world that makes it okay for them to pull you over for a DNA sample like that. And that's what they're doing. Unbidden, these officers are signing up for extra work with the feds to do a survey. Now, the government is saying that it's an anonymous, voluntary survey where they pull you over and they ask you for DNA to see how many people are drunk driving. And these police are putting up roadblocks and forcing people into parking lots in the Fort Worth area. And then they ask you, well, we need a sample to go. And these people that are being pulled over, they're saying they don't feel like it's very voluntary. Nothing about it felt voluntary. I mean, they're forcing you off the road and demanding your DNA and making it appear like you have three options: breathalyzer, spit, or blood. Choose. Well, the fact of the matter is, the Fourth Amendment protects you from unlawful searches and seizures. It protects you from being molested as you go about your business in this country. The Fourth Amendment is being violated by these police officers signing up for extra duty. They have no legal right to force you off the road for this survey. No legal right whatsoever. They can hold, a booth somewhere where they ask people, at Walmart or something, to go for the cheek swab or something before they go to their car or after they get out of their car. And that's fine. But they have no right whatsoever. No legal right. And civil rights attorneys are starting to come out of the woodwork and agree. They have no right to force people off the road for a survey. No right whatsoever. I don't care if it's for a good cause. I don't care if the government has a right to take a survey. They have no right legally to force an American citizen off the road to take their DNA. No. And what's worse is that this survey purports to be voluntary, but the paperwork they're giving people after the breathalyzer or blood or whatever says that the people are being subjected to tests by passive sensors, meaning that while you're speaking to the police officer, there are sensors picking up your breath to determine whether or not you're drunk. So, I can't help but feel like it's a massive joke that people today are talking about freedom and how we're a free country. That people praise American freedom. I can't help but feel like I'm being lied to when President Obama hands out the Medal of Freedom to 16 people. I can't help but feel like all the talk about a free country and the greatness of our nation kind of feels like a lie when we've got parents that can't get their kids from school. We've got police demanding your DNA and pressuring people into taking a survey that they don't need to take and violating their Fourth Amendment rights to do it. And I can't help but feel like this country's not as great as it should be when corrupt politicians like Bill Clinton, who lied to the American people and were impeached, receive the Medal of Freedom. I can't help but feel betrayed by that. I can't help but feel like somebody somewhere did something very wrong in that situation. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed the show this week. Had a great time. You can check out my Twitter at America Our Way. You can check me out on Facebook at facebook.com/AmericaOurWay. I am Dustin Hoyt. Have a great evening. Have a great week. Keep fighting the good fight. Your country needs you. See you next week, folks.